everyone, it's Ryan Liberty. In this video, I'm going to answer the question, what is enmeshment?
Ooh, ah.
Alright, let's get into what enmeshment is, but first I do have to say that enmeshment could, depending on the context, be considered emotional abuse, and if abuse in any way triggers you, this may be a good opportunity to turn this video off and come back to it at a time when you're feeling more able to handle this discussion. Or if that's something you feel like maybe you're just not ready to handle at all, don't have to come back to the video. Totally okay. Emotional abuse, I should mention, is also a pattern over time. We all may go through periods of enmeshment, and that would be totally fine and normal because we all have periods where we do things that are emotionally abusive. It's when it becomes a pattern over and over and over consistently across time that it becomes emotional abuse. So we got to make that distinction here. And if you came to this video and you find that you are in an emotionally abusive situation or an abusive situation of any kind, I greatly urge you to get the support and the help that you need, the resources. Go look for a therapist, a good trusted friend, a shelter, whatever it is that you need to get yourself into a good position. So all of that said, let's get into what enmeshment is. So enmeshment is also sometimes known as diffused boundaries. It's a concept that came from family therapy. And what it really boils down to is it's an over-involvement in other people's lives. And the reason it came from family therapy is very often you find what's called an enmeshed family, where people are too close to each other in the family. It feels like everybody is one unit in an inappropriate way, where everybody's in everybody's business and everybody's a little too close for comfort than would normally be expected when we come to a family system. Now, the typical thing is that people feel each other's emotions, like when one person, I'll get to examples a little later, but if one person's feeling sad, then another person in the family feels like they also have to feel sad and they have to manage that person's sadness and get together in it with them and sit with them and have a whole thing around it. And as moods change in the family, the person's mood also changes. So that would be enmeshment. It is not healthy empathy. In healthy empathy, when somebody has a feeling, you can empathize and you can feel that somebody's feeling sad, and you might feel a little bit of sadness in yourself, but you're also very clear that that sadness is not your sadness, and you can try to offer help and assistance to them in a way that you don't get so overly involved and you don't get tangled up in the emotion with them. That is not enmeshment, that is healthy empathy. Now, enmeshment erodes the roles within a system. So in the case of a family, the father role and the mother role, the children's roles, and the different hierarchy of like age within the family, all of that kind of disappears, and there's no boundaries between people. I'll get to examples, as I said. The opposite of enmeshment is called disengagement. And disengagement is when you have an inappropriately rigid boundaries, where people don't get involved with each other at all, and they just kind of pass in the night, don't really get to know each other, don't know anything about the other people within the family or the system. And I've been saying family a lot here. This can also happen between two people in a couple. The term has been applied to people who are in a couplehood. But again, the origin is coming from family therapy, so I tend to stick to where it came from. That seems to be the best place to apply this term. But you could also see enmeshment between two individual people in a couplehood. Now, it can be enmeshment, as I mentioned in the beginning. It can be a form of emotional abuse, but it can also be appropriate when family is going through a stressful situation, maybe like child rearing. It could be appropriate for the parents to give up their roles and their individual lives for a period of time to raise that child and to make sure the child is taken care of. It could also be appropriate when you're moving, for example, to expect children to do a little bit more responsibility and to act a little bit more like adults in the period while you're going through a move. So there could be stressful situations and times when the unit as a whole, it's appropriate to get a little bit enmeshed. It's appropriate to get a little bit more involved in each other's lives. But that would be healthy as long as it goes ahead and disengages again and people go back to their roles and their healthy, appropriate individuality within the system. So enmeshment leads to a reduced independence and differentiation between the people who are in the system, and it very often can lead to codependent behavior in the people within that system, within that family. So let's get to some examples of what enmeshment looks like. You have, I'm first going to go over some examples of the roles being eroded, and then I'll get into examples of maybe getting a little too close as far as feelings. So some roles might be something like mom expecting her 5-year-old daughter to do the dishes every day. 5 years old, not appropriate really for that. There could be that the family only goes out shopping when everybody's there, and if one person's missing, then they won't go out shopping. There could be something like the son interrupts mom and dad's alone time, and they always allow that. It could be that the parents do their children's homework for them. It could be that the father takes his son to the park after school every day, preventing his son from being able to make new connections with people his age. So it's an inappropriate enmeshment because it's taking away the son's individuality and making it so that he has to stay enmeshed with the family. So those are some examples of role erosion. And then we'll talk about right now the feelings and getting a little too close to people within the family unit. So you may have things like dad is upset about something and then the daughter feels like she needs to be upset with him and starts crying. Grandma could be angry after a phone call and her grandson feels a need to calm her down because if he doesn't calm her down, he doesn't know what's going to happen, who she might hurt. It could be something like mom asking her teenage son about the intimate details of his dating life. It could be something like a 7-year-old daughter pressuring her 15-year-old brother to talk with her about sex. It could be parents tightly hugging and kissing their teenage children after every goodbye, and that's not something that's normal within their culture. So it's these behaviors of being too close to each other, too involved for the system of the family. So what does it feel like for the people who are experiencing enmeshment? Well, first, a lot of them are not going to recognize that this is going on and that this is even a problem because it's just the way that they were raised. It's just the way that their family does things. So they may not recognize that this is poor behavior and this is preventing the growth of the individuals within the family. As far as in your body, you may experience some trauma symptoms. So trauma can manifest in a variety of ways. I have a video on trauma if you want to check that out. What's going on in your mind? All the things, again, linked to trauma. So you may think things like, why did I just behave that way? You have trouble remembering things, trouble concentrating, racing thoughts, negative thoughts. You may think that you're a bad person or the world is a scary place or you can't trust anybody. All that could be going on in your head. Emotionally, you may find that your mood is rapidly shifting as the people in your family or the system you're in, their mood shift, you kind of go along with them. And behaviorally, you may find that you either become dependent on people or avoidance from people as a result. So you could swing either way, and you may find that you engage in codependent relationships. So this is enmeshment. I'm happy that you took the time to learn about it today. If you have any questions or comments, or if you had an experience of enmeshment yourself, I'd love to hear from you. So go ahead and leave it below. And thank you for investing the time in your mental health today. Hey, it's Ryan Liberty. If you liked that video, please give it a thumbs up, share with a friend, and leave any questions or comments down below because that would really help me out. If you're somebody who's gone through a traumatic event and you're feeling cut off from the people around you, I have a free course that will help with that, so please click to get it. And if you'd like to see the rest of my videos, please click subscribe. As always, I want to remind you that your life matters. Nobody can question your worth. However it is that you're feeling, whatever it is that you're going through, it's okay, and you are loved. Thanks again for watching.